Our TSN studios here in Scarborough are among the most technologically advanced in the world. This studio, Studio 9, is no exception. The expansive studio allows me to get up off my chair behind this desk and move over to this side of the set. For our segment, you don't know what you got till it's Gaunce, with Cameron Gaunce, our NHL analyst. How are you, pal?
Great, thanks. How about yourself?
Good to see you. It's so great to have you here. Lots of fun stuff happening in hockey on Monday night. And I want to begin with the Kiefer Sherwood trade. He goes to San Jose, a couple of second rounders, a defense prospect. What do you make of the deal, first of all? And do you see the Canucks? There's lots of other names out there, long-term deals. Connor Garland, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson. Could you see other players moving before the deadline?
I absolutely can. With the situation they're currently in, they have to start being proactive moving forward. It's not going to be this season. It might not even be next season where they have their considered window. So who's going to help you beyond that is the real question. So a player like a Teddy Bluger, who's on the last year of his contract, even potentially a Tyler Myers or Drew O'Connor, who have, yes, some trade protection, but they're not going to help you when it's the necessary time for you guys to win. So you have to ask those questions. But the big question for me is going to be Pettersson or even the goaltending, because they've got two very good goalies.
Yep.
Demko and Lankinen. But if you're rebuilding, do you need two good goaltenders? Because can you really be a bottom-of-the-barrel team when you have two healthy, very good goaltenders? So that's a decision they're going to have to make soon because, yes, right now, Demko's injured. But if both those guys are healthy, you have to make a decision. Is that what you want to go with? Or do you want to optimize your situation and try to build as much as you can?
Seems like Jake DeBrusk is probably the next to go, right? I feel like he would welcome a change of scenery.
Yeah, I think he'd welcome it. With the term left on his deal, and he seems to be a very, very power play specific player right now. That could help some teams, and he's a very good player, but he needs to find his game a bit to really optimize his value.
Okay, let's talk about, had some music there, that was nice. Let's talk about Jonathan Toews. He returns to Chicago for the first time since becoming a Winnipeg Jet. 3 Stanley Cups, we know the history, but looking at the result, if Winnipeg fans look at the final score, they might think, what? But you're saying this Jets effort was actually maybe a little better than the final score might show.
It was. Now, they have been averaging 5 goals in their last 5 games, so they think that they'd be able to try to bring that in such a big game for Toews, but they were very good in the first period. The problem was they had a lull in the second, and that lull cost them a bunch of opportunities against, and ultimately the game-winning goal. They tried to have a valiant effort in the third period. They didn't come up. They just didn't make life tonight hard enough for Spencer Knight. So they weren't getting the screens. They weren't getting the second opportunities. They weren't getting the east-west movement on him that's going to be needed to score on a goaltender like him. But it was a valiant effort. They really wanted it for Toews tonight. It was just too bad they came up on the losing side of it.
Middle of January, sometimes it's the dog days of the NHL season, and what we'd all love to see is a goalie fight to really liven things up. Well, we got it. I mean, this was wild. Alex Nedeljkovic, Sergei Bobrovsky. Love to get as a former player, love to get your thoughts on that, because watching the players on the bench is my favorite part because they're just going nuts.
Well, with a goalie fight, you get one of two things, right? You get either a guy who's never fought a cold in his life, let alone a grown man, or you've got an absolute savage who's been praying for this moment. He's been hoping, I want a chance, I want to show these guys what I got. And Bobrovsky, he's on the beat tonight, as you can tell.
Yeah.
And he has not done this. This is a athlete with world-class stability, yet he is stumbling and bumbling during this fight. He does an admirable job, and he's sticking up for teammates. He's throwing fists, but he doesn't have that stabilizing left hand as a lot of guys have. Nedeljkovic is trying. You can see them trying, but they are just throwing, and with the equipment that they have, for them to be able to do that, it is hard. But it's a blast for the guys on the bench, as long as no one gets hurt. Let me preface that. Especially someone like Bobrovsky. You need him in the net. But to see them go at it, it's always a pleasure.
It almost would be better if they sumo wrestled, right? Just bump those chest protectors.
With their hip mobility, too, the depth they'd be able to get.
Let's talk about sumo wrestling. Let's have a side league where the goalies just sumo wrestle each other. That's just a little idea that Cameron and I came up with, so that's copyrighted. Okay, Leafs fall on home ice. Man, this Minnesota Wild team, you watch some of this passing. This team has a lot of potential to go really far in the postseason. So is it so much that the Leafs were not good on Monday night, or is it just that maybe we don't see Minnesota that much and they are way better than we even expected, even before they acquired Quinn Hughes?
Combination of both, because Minnesota was missing their entire second line, pardon me. But the Leafs, the opportunities that they gave to Minnesota tonight, that's where they capitalized.
Yeah.
On a number of the goals, it was just the Leafs handing it to them. Now, Minnesota had to make the plays in order for them to score the goal. So you have to give them that. But it was a bad play in the penalty kill. It was a turnover on the second goal. Third goal, a bad change, bad positioning. Just a number of things led to that. The Leafs have been very good lately. Tonight, we talked about the last time I was on. This was a trap game.
Yeah.
And they came off a good road trip against a team that's missing their entire second line. The Leafs might have been a bit, not overconfident, but thinking that the game was going to go a certain way. It didn't, and they were unable to. They tried to mount a comeback in the third period, just couldn't do it. Just costly errors, unfortunately.
Man, this is fun. Great chatting with you, pal. Hopefully we can get another goalie fight. You're here tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Okay, hopefully another goalie fight. So let's go, goalies. Let's sumo.